Still here, still beer, still Wiki weekends. Go out this time.
Yeah, you did.
Spider-Man. So Lucas, you're a pretty big fan of Spider-Man, correct?
That is true.
Because you are wearing like a Venom hoodie right now, and then your other hoodie is like a Miles Morales one, so a big Spider-Man fan, I think we can say. So would you like to, to tell the people at home what today's video is going to be about? As I just get my phone out. It's not unprofessional, so we need this.
We need that.
We do, yes. And he's got the article on there.
So today we're going to be looking into Spider-Man on his, I guess, Marvel Wiki page.
Yes, Spider-Man 616, like the Marvel Wiki.
Peter Parker Spider-Man.
Peter Parker
specifically.
Spider-Man, or Otto Octavius, depending on which run of Spider-Man you're like. Don't even bother. If you don't know what we're talking about, don't bother. It's fucking stupid.
Well, he is the superior Spider-Man.
Yes. Long story short, Otto Octavius, Dr. Octopus, goes into Peter Parker's mind and then becomes Spider-Man. Like with the Hulk video, we're just going to delve right into the good stuff because I'm guessing that there's going to be some shit here people don't fucking know about Spider-Man.
If you want to find out his origin, go watch 3 of those fucking movies.
Go watch Uncle Ben get shot twice, why not, right? So, we're going to start with the personality section because I think we need to know what kind of man Spider-Man is. So we're going to start with a quote from the man himself, that is, whether a law is right or wrong, moral or immoral, is an idea, a personal philosophy, but it always seems that fights over ideas skip over the barrier into the real world, become battles of real violence. So that's quite a poignant quote from Spider-Man, so let's start with. Spider-Man is commonly seen as a brave and righteous hero with an indomitable sense of justice and responsibility. Shaken by his uncle's tragic death,
You've seen it.
Yeah, we all know, who's been killed more in fiction? Is it Uncle Ben or is it Bruce Wayne's parents?
I was about to say Batman's parents,
because
definitely.
There was that great tweet out there of, I've seen Batman's parents get shot more times than I've seen my parents kiss. Which I think is good anyway. Spider-Man's vow of responsibility is led into a path of heroism and humanitarian service. There are times when Spider-Man's sense of responsibility can be almost overbearing. This was evidently noted by Luke Cage when he felt embarrassed about Electro causing the raft outbreak, despite the fact he had nothing to do with it. And I just imagine Spider-Man, he just sat at home watching Marvel Netflix. He's just there oh man, I'm really glad to have a day off. He's sat with Mary Jane and the news comes on his phone or something like that. It's Electro's escape from prison. For fuck's sake!
God damn, the one time I take a day off.
And he feels responsible for it, even though it's entirely out of his control. This combines this strong moral compass in the face of adversity and sharp wit, making one of the most iconic and enduring heroes in the Marvel universe. So one of Spider-Man's most prominent traits is his sense of humour, unless you're watching any of the live-action movies where they just don't do that. Has there ever been a live-action Spider-Man where they actually showcase the fact Spider-Man never shuts the fuck up?
I mean, a tiny bit, but not really.
I think the only
Maybe
one...
in 1 or 2 scenes.
I think only Andrew Garfield does it, and it's that one line, when the mugger pulls a knife on him. It's oh no, tiny knives, my one weakness. It's and that's the only time he has a sense of humour anyway. Even in the face of certain deaths, Spider-Man invariably cracks a joke to the annoyance of both friends and foes. His reasons for this vary. Either he wants to relieve the stress of the situation or simply wants to hide how scared he really is during a crisis. Also, he does this to get on the nerves of his opponents, since he knows that if they are angry, that they would normally lose themselves and be vulnerable to a superior skilled opponent. So he shit talks to get in their head.
Yeah.
He's doing it, the Spider-Man mind game. Spider-Man is so good at Smash. And then we've got just a little bit talking about his allies and people that he compliments well with that in his crime fighting. We've got Daredevil, Wolverine, and the Human Torch. And I love the Wolverine Spider-Man dynamic.
Oh, okay, because Wolverine never wants to hear anything from it.
Yeah, but one of the best comics is where it's Spider-Man meets Wolverine in a bar. Have you seen this one?
I don't think so.
There's a famous comic of it's just Spider-Man and Wolverine in a bar, and Spider-Man's like, "Why did you invite me here?" And he goes, "No reason." And they sit there and they get into a bar fight and they have a conversation. And at the end of it, Wolverine says, "Thanks for hanging out with me on my birthday."
Oh,
he's too gruff. He's too Hugh Jackman. He doesn't want to let anyone know.
See, the one that you didn't mention that I love is just the ridiculousness that is Deadpool and Spider-Man. Because there is just no limits to the shenanigans.
Isn't Deadpool like a huge Spider-Man fanboy? Yes, Spider-Man is like underwear or something like that, doesn't it? It was revealed that Spider-Man is disliked by a good deal of police in New York, because even though he comes to turning captured supervillains, the police mistrust him due to his vigilanteism. They're also embarrassed over their dependency on him to arrest threats they cannot handle. So basically, it's that scene in Hot Fuzz where Simon Pegg gets yelled at "You're too good. You arrest so many criminals that everyone else looks bad.
Now we have to do more work."
Oh man, can you imagine Spider-Man in a little English hamlet? His webs would be fucking useless, wouldn't they?
Yeah, it's like scene in Spider-Man Homecoming Where he's like in the back garden.
He's just in the suburb. He's just Spider-Man in the suburbs of like, what do I do? I'm completely helpless here. During a fight with Cable noted that Spider-Man is seen in the future as the greatest hero of them all.
God,
have you heard about this?
I haven't.
They're basically like Cable's from the future, and he just says like, yeah, Spider-Man, you're the only one people remember. Because he's the only one who, even after becoming like a member of the Avengers, still helps out the little guy.
Yeah.
Because he's obviously feels like such a responsibility to help. There's like, yeah, everyone loves Spider-Man. Spider-Man's like the biggest dick ever. Everyone fucking loves him. There are statues in the future about how awesome you are. You're great. And there we go. When Dr. Octopus tried to become a better Spider-Man than Peter Parker after switching bodies due to shenanigans, he failed to stop the Green Goblin's takeover of Manhattan and admitted that Spider-Man, or Peter Parker, was the actual superior Spider-Man. So let's move straight on to powers and talk to people about the spider physiology here, Luke. So what do you know about Spider-Man's powers?
I mean, I know that he has this famous spidey sense.
Yeah, it's the proportionate strength of a human-sized spider.
Super abs and super strength.
Super abs.
Super abs.
Confirmed. Yeah, AKA SABs. So we're going to start with spider physiology. Spider-Man possesses the proportionate powers of a spider granted to him from an irradiated common house spider. So I didn't know that. It's in the film, doesn't it like glow? Like they always try and make
so it's still irradiated.
But they make the spider like...
it's always like, we've developed this spider in a lab. And
like here's a turbo spider.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it was an irradiated common house spider.
Neither did I.
The radioactive complex mutagenic enzymes in the spider's blood that were transferred at the time of the bite triggered numerous body-wide mutagenic changes in Parker, granting him superhuman strength, speed, toughened flesh, and numerous arachnid-like abilities. That mutation granted him an enhanced chromosome pattern. Ezekiel Sims revealed to Peter that his powers were not of scientific origin, but were silently become a totemic avatar of the web of life and destiny. What? What? This is like why is Hulk big? What? While Peter initially struggled to accept this, no shit, he later came to the conclusion that both were plausible and has had his powers mystically augmented on a number of occasions.
I just thought it was like, radioactive spider.
Yeah.
Means Spider-Man.
One of the things that I like about Spider-Man is that he's technically not a mutant, but whenever like the X-Men have to fight the Sentinels attack him and he gets really annoyed about it. She's like, I'm not a mutant, stop attacking.
He's not got the gene inside him to be a mutant.
He's like, he's mutated, but he's not a mutant with the X gene. I just think that's really funny, that every time it happens, he like calls up Wolverine and says, please stop this. Please help, there are so many Sentinels trying to open my asshole right now. So his powers include, what do you think the most famous one is here?
Spider-Sense.
No, it's wall crawling, so...
Oh, well, too.
So Spider-Man's exposed to the mutated spider venom induced a mutagenic, cerebellum-wide alteration of his engrams. Are we reading the Destiny Wiki right now?
Apparently.
Resulting in the ability to mentally control the flux of interatomic attraction, electrostatic force, between molecular boundary layers. So this is why in the Raimi-verse they just said he's got little tiny hairs.
Yeah.
Because that shit is hard to explain.
Like, what? I'm sorry.
This ability to affect the attraction between surfaces is so far limited to Spider-Man's body and is especially concentrated in his hands and feet and another object, with an upper limit of several tons per finger.
Holy shit.
Yeah, did you not know this? Spider-Man can support the weight of a truck on one finger. At one point, Spider-Man was able to prevent Anti-Venom from taking his mask off by making it stick to his face. So is that cooler or lamer than when Batman just has a taser in it?
No, that's way cooler.
The anti-mask removal tab, a taser underneath.
I think it's way cooler. He just made a mask stick to his own face.
I think there's one comic as well where he can he puts it on his back and he sticks people to his back. People just get, when he's swinging around, he's fighting, he sticks Mary Jane to his back or something like that, she can't move. Right, so the mark of Cain. So Cain, the relatively amoral clone of Spider-Man, has shown the ability to use his wall-crawling abilities in a more offensive manner. And do you know what this is?
I'm not actually sure.
You're not sure? The mark of Cain is, he puts his hand on someone's face, activates his spider-like attraction, and then pulls his hand off, and then removes their face.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Spider-Man is OP as fuck if he wants to be, but right, so now we're going to move on to superhuman strength. How tough do you think Spider-Man is? Because it's never actually shown, in a lot of the films, except for, the famous train scene.
Yeah, it's insinuated at times,
but he's
explicitly stated.
He's impossibly strong, because he's normally fighting like dudes. Spider-Man's physical strength is sufficient enough to enable him to lift and throw objects as heavy as a big rig semi-truck with ease. And Lander Jet, he estimated, had a landing weight of between 175,000 and 215,000 pounds. He must also pull his punches and kicks unless fighting someone of similar or greater physical durability, otherwise his blows would prove fatal to normal human beings. I think it was one comic where Otto Octavius takes over Spider-Man and he fights Scorpion and he punches him and knocks his jaw off.
Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, and I think Otto Octavius goes, oh, holy shit, at any point in any of our previous confrontations, Spider-Man could just punch my head off, and he never did. Holy shit.
But he has that power.
He's demonstrated that he is strong enough to knock out people with normal durability with as little as a light tap to the head. As such, he rarely lets himself use all of his strength.
He just pats people on the head and they pass out.
Superhuman speed. So do you want to have a guess at how fast Spider-Man is?
Is he faster than when Batman can catch up to cars?
I forgot about that one. Spider-Man is capable of running and moving at speeds that are far beyond the natural physical limits of the finest human athlete. He is fast enough to be able to catch up to an accelerating car.
Oh.
How did you get that exactly right? Although he normally prefers to travel by webs. He can move faster than the eye can follow, and has even moved so fast he appeared as a blur. In close combat, he was even able to dodge an all-out assault from Blur for an extended period of time. So he's like a villain with super speed, I guess. Superhuman durability. So Spider-Man's body is physically tougher and more resistant to some types of injuries than the body of a normal human. As evidenced by the fact he gets knocked through a brick wall every other day. In the past, he has survived multiple blows from the likes of the Hulk, in addition to surviving a point-blank missile explosion. So I'm thinking that was when it's a criminal went, I'm done. It's time to swap this. It's time to swap this spider, and shot him with a rocket launcher. And I'm just thinking, what went through that criminal's mind when the explosion rocked Spider-Man and he walked out of it like nothing? Do you imagine how scared you'd be? You shoot a rocket launcher at Spider-Man and he walks out of it, going, now I've got to fix my suit.
But really?
Really, dude? Really? Oh, Spider-Man's body is durable to the point where tensing his super strong muscles while being punched in the torso by a trained heavyweight boxer caused the attacker's wrists to break. Because of this, Spider-Man has to roll with punches in order to avoid breaking the wrists of opponents.
Oh my god, so he has to take the fall so people don't break themselves.
That again would be more terrifying. I think Spider-Man, in every confrontation with just a regular, he shouldn't move out of the way. Don't use his SpiderSense to move out of the way. It'd be way scarier. So you might, I guess, the bar with no name. Oh man, you can't even land a blow on Spider-Man. No one can hit him. The guy's like a ghost. The guy's a ninja. How do you And I think more scary. He stands perfectly still and lets you punch him and you break your arm, and then he ties you up and the police come and arrest you and then presumably beat you up a little bit with nightsticks. That'd be way scarier, wouldn't it? Have you heard about the guy who just stands perfectly still and you break your hands when you punch him? And then he has a healing factor, an enhanced immune system, none of which are interesting. But let's get to the better stuff because we've got superhuman equilibrium. And this is a power you probably don't know Spider-Man has, do you?
No, I don't recognise the name of it.
Okay, so Spider-Man possesses the ability to achieve a state of perfect equilibrium in any position imaginable. He seems able to adjust his position by instinct, which enables him to balance himself on virtually any object, no matter how small or narrow. So that's why he can stand up straight on a wall and talk normally.
Yeah.
And that's how he can walk on any surface without ever getting disorientated or confused. Superhuman reflexes. All right, so his reflexes. We're not talking about spiders. We're talking about just sheer reflexes, which allows him to dodge almost any attack, including gunfire, given sufficient distance. And that's without his spider. It says here that's without his spider.
That's just his reflex.
Because the next section, which is very fucking long, is just simply titled SpiderSense. So let's end on this because this, to me, is what makes Spider-Man so fucking broken. Spider-Man possesses a precognitive danger, or SpiderSense, or, the Peter Tingle, which warns of a potential or immediate danger by the manifestation of a tingling sensation in the back of his skull, and links with his superhuman kinesthetics enabling him to evade almost any injury, unless he cognitively override his automatic reflexes. The precise nature of this sense is, do you want to guess what the next word here is?
Oh no!
Exactly, yes, we don't know where it comes from, though the Master Weaver states it's enabled by his connection to the web of life and destiny, which is the most bullshit thing I've ever heard, and it makes Spider-Man objectively less cool. It appears to be a simultaneous clairvoyant response to a wide variety of phenomenon, everything from falling safe to speeding bullets and even thrown punches, which have given several hundredths of a second warning, which is sufficient time for his reflexes to allow him to avoid any injury. The sense also create a general response to the order of several minutes. So you can just in a couple of minutes time, someone's going to punch me in the back of the head. He cannot discern the nature of a threat by the sensation, however. He can, though, discern the severity of the danger by the strength of his reaction to it. Spider-Man's SpiderSense is directional and could guide him to or away from hidden weapons and enemies. So which means that, like, if he walks into a building, it's like, okay, there's an enemy with a gun in that room. My SpiderSense tells me there's a guy in that room with a gun.
That's so funny.
Think about how OP he has, basically, the Soliton radar.
Yeah.
He has, like, the Metal Gear Solid OP as shit radar.
He's just entered cheat mode. That's all it is.
He is, like, SpiderSense breaks everything, which is why in, like, most comics they get rid of it. Using his SpiderSense to time his enhanced reflexes, Spider-Man can casually dodge attacks up to and including automatic weapons fire. His SpiderSense is sufficiently well linked to his reflexes to the point the threat can even trigger when Spider-Man is asleep or stunned.
Can you imagine just being asleep and going, shit, someone's gonna shoot me?
No, he reacts on instinct.
Oh, really?
Yes, which means Spider-Man cannot be pranked. So imagine Peter Parker, he's at a house party, he's a bit pissed, he's passed out on the sofa, and you go up and try and, I don't know, put his fingers in, a glass of water or something, and just immediately he grabs your hand and breaks your wrist. Even when he does not have the use of his eyes, Spider-Man can still use his SpiderSense in a similar fashion to Daredevil's radar sense. So even if you pulled his eyes out, put him to sleep, and then tied him up, Spider-Man's still got the advantage in that situation. And people say Batman could beat him in a fist fight. Fuck off. As a result of the Venom symbiote bonding to Spider-Man, and the Venom and its offspring do not trigger his SpiderSense.
Because it's like essentially an old part of his body.
Yes, so that doesn't work, which is why my favourite thing is that Venom can just continually sneak on Spider-Man and he gets really annoyed about it. It's like Venom's always sneaking up behind him, just like hugging him. It's like, please stop. Please stop this, Venom, it's really scary. But yeah, so we're going to end on that, Lucas, but no. There is a section here simply titled Weaknesses, and there's obviously obvious stuff here like, ethyl chloride, which is a thing used to kill spiders, as well as bad luck. I'm not making that up, but here's my favourite one, no driving skill. Because, fun fact, Peter Parker cannot drive, and that obviously is one of the reasons that he considers, and I quote, the Spider-Mobile to be a terrible idea.
When he can't drive, yeah, no shit.
He also cannot fly, and as such is not allowed to pilot the Avengers Quinjet. Oh man,
this teenager just comes upon the Quinjet. I've got it,
guys, I've got it, you guys, woohoo!